wheels on them. They're 2-inch ground clearance. I mean, these things are land rockets. That's why they had to put restrictor plates on them. This is their Daytona here. They bump draft. They get out there, 4 or 5 cars get hooked up. They really go through the same maneuvers that you do at Daytona or Talladega, drafting up on each other. If you get caught on the outside, you can go from first to last.
I wish this camera up here in the booth was on right now, because as soon as these cars started moving, Brett just started smiling. It's amazing.
I told Buddy, put his pads on, because I get excited when these guys take to the racetrack.
What's been the most exciting modified tour race you've ever seen, buddy?
Well, I watched T.M. Bouchard slug it out one night. First time I ever watched Brett run modifieds. He was driving a number 12 car. And these guys, Kenny Bouchard, and he went at it, and the lead must have changed. In a 40-lap race, it must have changed 39 times.
Really?
It was a great race, and I went over and introduced myself to Brett because I was so taken by how hard these guys went at it from the time the green flag fell till the checker came out.
There you see the field getting the 1 to go signal. A lot of clouds there you see rolling in over Billy Ryder's head. What's it feeling like? Getting cooler, Glenn?
Yeah, Eli, it's noticeably cooler down here right now than it was during the Busch North race. In fact, I would say probably 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees cooler. Should make the racetrack a little quicker. Some thunderstorms called for later on this afternoon, but I don't believe they're expected to get here until after this thing is over. If it can hold off for about 10 minutes, as fast as these guys run, it can rain, then we'll be all right.
You know, you want to talk, let's talk about speed here for a second before we go racing. Take a look at those qualifying records here at New Hampshire International Speedway. The Mod Squad quicker than the lot.
Oh, absolutely. You know, these cars are, as Buddy said, so light. They go through the corners so darn quick. They had to put restrictor plates on them because if they ran unrestricted here, it's no telling how fast they could run around this racetrack. And I really like it better with a restrictor plate because it makes it closer competition.
Riding with Ed Kennedy, the Texas native, will have onboard cameras, as will Tim Connolly from Endicott, New York. Ralston Purita Tidy Cat entry.
Boy, that makes your adrenaline just get up to look back and see that cockpit there. You can see the folded back windshield and the whole bit. What a race car.
Here we go, 100 laps for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour. Tim Connolly and Dan Avery. Connolly the yellow machine, Avery the red on the front row, and here we go. You saw go spinning through the picture, but everybody rights themselves and continue away. There's the number 15 that had the problems on the start, Joey Caraccia. And he gets on the roadway off the grass. We stay under green.
Eli, he had a left rear tire that was flat. That's the reason for that. Now, the modifieds can run too wide here. There's not a real preferred line here. You see them running right around the bottom, but they can go through the corners at full speed too wide.
Jamie Tomato's got a problem. He pulled right out of line. It looks like he's lost power.
Jamie the Jet there in the 99. Problems for him. A super qualifying effort.
What a tough break.
Now another spinning car. That's the number 1 machine. And this time, Tim Mangus may well bring out the caution. Let's see. Nope, he rights himself with everybody else at the other end of the racetrack. We're going to stay under green. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead, Tommy Cravino and Avery. When Avery took the lead from our pole sitter, Tim Connolly, that became the 125th lead change of the season for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour. Look at Avery just taking that inside away from Cravino.
Doing a little block in there, buddy, coming down the front straightaway.
You see Connolly there on the outside. We're riding with him in the yellow car here. You can see he has speed going on the outside there. Did not lose that much distance.
Cravino in the 17, Christopher in the 13. Same paint scheme for Ted Christopher in the 13 right behind that he had in the Busch North Series car.
They're starting to go 2 by 2 now. This thing's really heating up. On the outside, just behind this group that we're riding with right here, Jan Leedy has made a tremendous move there in the 25 car. We know if he ever gets up front, he's going to be a factor.
Avery's doing everything he can to hold Trevino off. Trevino gets off the corner so much stronger than Avery, and he's just blocking him down the front straightaway, leaving the outside open for Connolly.
Yeah, Connolly's in that yellow machine. Everybody, Fuller closing in now. Rick Fuller trying to be part of the mix. We're riding with Connolly.
You can see those Nerf bars come into play there. That's their side on the car. You can see the metal bars that run the length of the side of the car there. That keeps them from wheel hopping.
Connolly got down to the inside. He got underneath Trevino. Now Trevino's pinned down that outside lane. And here comes Christopher.
You might have seen the pack go by a slower machine. That was Jamie Tomeno coming back on the racetrack. We'll get an update shortly from the pit lane. The 05 John Blewett, he's running in 5th spot now. Working inside of the 17 machine of Trevino. And again with Connolly.
We lost him coming up there. That's the draft. You can see Christopher in the 13 there just motoring right on by. It looks like a race at Daytona. They just move up there, get in the draft, and go right on by.
So as Christopher makes that move around the Connolly car, he'll take over the top spot with Avery having gotten shuffled back now to 4th.
Eddie Christopher, he wants them to get that doubleheader.
He really does.
He's trying awful hard.
We've seen Mike Stefanik do some sweeping here in 2 races on the same day at New Hampshire. Christopher trying to do the same. Connolly is 2nd, Fuller 3rd, Avery is 4th, Blewett is 5th. Trevino is now running in 6th. Early under cloudy skies here in New Hampshire. Motorsports live coverage of the CMT Twin 100s from New Hampshire International Speedway is being brought to you by the more than 1,725 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
There's no track in the world that's tougher on brakes than the one in Martinsville, Virginia. And when drivers take the green flag here, they all have one thing in common: the same brand of brakes. Because without them, you can't come down this straightaway at 120 miles an hour and still make it through the turn. So which brand do the top drivers use to get them through 500 laps at Martinsville? Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. And we stock them at AutoZone.
Start your engine. Want to get close to the action? No, closer to the action. No, we mean really close to the action. Now's your chance to get up close and personal with live Winston Cup racing at the Duraloop 500, presented by Kmart. Just stop by any Kmart store and look for the Duraloop display and enter to win. And while you're at it, check out the great value on the Duraloop oil change kit on sale at all Kmart stores.
Recently, KFC introduced a revolutionary new sandwich, the Twister. It's like a meal all wrapped up and ready to go. No wonder the only thing more popular is the guy who makes them. Now get a Bacon Ranch Twister with wedges in this month's $2.99 to-go meal.
That's me, Bill. Here we are at the Super 8. Next time I'll get 2 rooms. See you soon.
For reservations, call 1-800-800-8000. Super 8 proudly offers the quality and reliability of the AT&T network at most of our locations.
We are back with you riding at New Hampshire International Speedway along with Tim Connolly, who is the race leader here, taking over the top spot on lap number 9. Reggie Ruggiero there, the Gulf machine, number 44. Remember when Matt Yoakum went way back in the field to find him at the grid? He's now 15th overall. So the Reg clearly cutting right through race traffic in a hurry. He moves there around the 5 of Charlie Pasteryak and just picks his way through. Ed Flumke Jr., the 11, is just ahead there in the 14th position. While you're away, Jack Bateman did a little spin out in the corner. No caution. Everybody continued away. There was no problem. He was running 23rd at the time of his incident, but we now stay clean and green. Bateman, after the spin, takes up in 37th position.
Boy, Reggie's just catching them and picking them off. His car is really working strong.
That'll work for a while, but the higher up the ladder he goes, the harder it is to climb. And believe you me, as he goes on up and gets with the cars that are up front right now, it's going to get tougher.
Mike Christopher there in the 77. He'll be the next one to pass.
This is the longest he's had to work on somebody right here.
Yeah.
The 2 laps.
Well, kind of like Buddy said, you know, getting closer to the front. This is 13th spot he's trying to bypass now. Christopher's giving him some room. Reggie Ruggiero, for years answered to the name Ruggiero. Never did bother to correct anybody, and that's what everybody knew him as for years. Of course, your brother was known for years as Bodine.
That's right.
You know, for years, Brett, you remember, many guys referred to Jeff Bodine for years before it was finally clarified.
Reggie had a good run off of turn 2, got down underneath Christopher, but it's like Christopher's just got a little bit more horsepower, holds him off down each straightaway. See, he gets underneath him there in the corner. Now they're neck and neck down the front straightaway, and Reggie's going to complete the pass.
Pit stops now for Carl Pasteryak, and Matt, we also needed to update everybody on what happened to Jamie Tomeno.
Well, the crew for Carl Pasteryak has already taken off the valve covers. Something is wrong inside the motor. They're taking a look at it. They don't have any idea. They're just shaking their heads. An update on Jamie the Jet Tomeno. They had a plug wire come off. So he hit it earlier on, put the plug wire back on, as crew did. He's down back on the racetrack. So tough luck for both Carl and Jamie.
Jamie the Jet is now 3 laps back, and how about old Mr. Fuller right there powering on through with Christopher now backpedaling in the 13. The 05 is Blewett. You've got the 25 there, buddy. You were talking about Jan Lady before.
Doing a nice job, but just behind him, Mike Stefanik. This guy has won 8 times already this year, and you can see him making a move on Leedy as they go down in the corner.
Stefanik's car's really working well there in the bottom. That's going to be the key. You know, a guy we got to give credit to here is John Blewett.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a lot of experience here at Loudon, but boy, is he doing a great job.
Of course, he knows modifieds by virtue of being one of the men at Flemington Speedway in New Jersey. But you're right, this is a whole different animal than the squared circle up there at Flemington. Here goes Stefanik inside of Christopher. Give him 3rd this time.
Boy, he's making it look easy.
Yeah.
His car is really working well.
He's done it all year, making it look easy. There's a good battle. Sam Russo there in the 88 machine, leading a battle at 18th, 19th, and 20th. Don Worley next in line. Just minding their time. That's 19th, 20th, 21st. Bruce Taylor going through there. And the 30 there being bypassed as Donald Worley, Rocky Mount, Virginia. That's great racing families in the Featherlite Modified Tour. This battle heating up again. Christopher and Lady.
Now, Christopher jumped out in front right there and took over the lead without much trouble. We have a caution on the Speedway.
As one machine ends up in the wall there in turn number 4. That's Bill Woods out of Nichols, New York, who goes out and brings us the first caution flag of the day as Nichols ends up in the wall in turn number 4. So the pole sitter, Tim Connolly, continues to lead. Nichols brings out the caution. We'll be right back.
Once every millennium, something happens so profound it changes everything. Till now, this was a large, medium, and small pizza. Now, Little Caesars says this is a large, medium, and small. Does this mean everything will get bigger? Or does it simply mean Uncle Ed can come to dinner?
Boy, that's a lot of pizza, Uncle Ed!
Little Caesars' new big pizzas. They dwarf the competition. Small $5.99, medium $7.99, large $9.99.
Bigger.
Want to make painting easier? Change your roller to a Wagner cordless power roller. There's less mess, less hassle, and less bending over. So you can paint every room in your house in almost half the time. Get the Wagner power roller for fast, professional results.
A tough case of athlete's foot can stop you in your tracks. You get that itching, the cracking, the burning. That's when you want a medicine and back stuff. Boom! Boom! Tough actin' Tenactin. It cures even tough cases of athlete's foot. Get tough actin' Tenactin.
Get ready to roll as Miller Brewing Company presents TNN Motorsports Inside Track Sweepstakes.
Think you know NASCAR? We'll show you the inside track.
You could win an all-expense-paid trip to one of these 8 NASCAR Winston Cup races, including airfare, hotel, and $1,000 cash.
It's the real thing. The pits, the rigs, the teamwork. Here's the deal.
You'll get to meet one of these 3 drivers. Check out the action on Pit Row and enjoy the race from the comfort of our luxury pods. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to TNN Motorsports Inside Track Sweepstakes. TNN Station, P.O. Box 3550, Southbury, Connecticut 06488.
8 races, let's go.
Remember, if you don't win this time, you're still eligible for the next drawing.
Enter now. Still got a shot to win. I'll see you at the track.
Brought to you by Splitfire Spark Plugs and Napa Auto Parts.
Pit stops, the name of the game under caution. Lap 24, Glenn Jarrett.
And Rick Fuller, who was running second, has brought the Polar Beverages car in, guys. And I think what he's going to do, he's got a right rear tire was starting to show a little blister on it. They changed the 2 right sides and the left rear, but this will give them track position because the other guys are going to pit too. Here's Matt.
Tiger Tom Baldwin in the 7 car was complaining his car was a little too loose. They came in, changed 4 tires, and the stagger. Helping out on the car is his son, Tom Baldwin Jr., who happens to be the crew chief on the Junie Donlevy Ford that Dick Trickle drives.
You might have seen somebody there in the Heilig Myers uniform helping out. That was Tom Jr., a very well-respected mechanic, we might add. Hey, have you had a chance? There's Tom Baldwin Jr. I bet you he's computer literate. And if you are as well, you might want to log on to country.com. Country.com, your personal source for all things country, from race cars to country stars. Connect at www.country.com, your personal source for all things country. Welcome back, Eli Gold with Brett Bodine, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum. Tomorrow, Steve Burns will be along as well for the NASCAR Winston Cup CMT 300. You've got a final practice session coming up a bit later today. Pretty comfortable?
Yeah, the car was real good this morning. We've got some things we want to run through this afternoon, some shot combinations, sway bars, and then we'll sort through it all tonight and put the best package we can at it tomorrow.
You guys were gutsy. I mean, you cut up a real, I shouldn't say that, but a real stinker of a race car. You cut it up, went to a short track, thrashed on it, and all of a sudden you're starting third.
Well, just credit to the guys. They worked awful hard to get that car done, and you know, we've got some things we want to try, and it worked out for us.
I'm glad it did. Brett Bodine will be starting third tomorrow. We'll be following his exploits, but right now, down on the racetrack, green flag is in the air, and here we go, lap 27 of 100. Connolly, Stefanik, Blewett, Leedy. Those are the top 4 right now.
Stefanik is glued to the back bumper of Tim
That's
Connolly.
called bump drafting. You can watch them down the straightaways. Stefanik was right up under the 4 there of Connolly. They were bump drafting down through there. What that does, the second car just kind of pushes the front car along. Now he tries to take the lead.
Trying to power to the inside. Got him off the corner. Connolly's not given. We're riding with Tim Connolly now. You know, it's racing like this that has brought out the super crowd we have here today, too. Clearly the best Saturday doubleheader. Oh, bump, 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 3 or 4 times.
Just pushing him right down the front straightaway.
A picture is 1,000 words. You can see it right there. When they got together, they just go ahead and push each other down the straightaway.
But we saw right there in that corner what's made Mike Stefanik so strong this year. The car really gets through the corner, and he's able to open it up now on Tim Connolly.
125 miles an hour plus that last lap around the magic mile. So Connolly led from lap 9 through 27. Stefanik takes over at lap number 28. Blewett there in the 05. Jan Lady right behind him, that day glow orange and white 25. Mike Uwanitzko, who is also testing the waters now in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The team crew chief by Ricky Jazambek. And there's old Reggie, the Reg, 7th now. And Matt, were you trying to convince us that Reggie was telling somebody he's down on power?
Well, that's what Reggie was telling Mario Fiore and the guys on the radio, so it seems like it's a little bit down on power. But he also said there's a little bit of fluid on his windshield. He thinks it's sprinkling down in turn 4. You saw a lot of top teams pit under that last caution. The Reg is going to wait till any caution after lap 40. And from that point on, he said you should have good enough tires to go the distance.
Well, they're at lap 30 right now. Oh, trouble on the main straightaway as a spinner comes off the corner. Bert Marvin out of Colchester, Connecticut. He puts the brakes on. We stay under green. We've seen about 3 or 4 spins today from different drivers, but we have not had the caution come out in those instances as Bert Marvin is in 21st position, and we stay under green.
We saw the first part of our pit strategy play out. The half a dozen guys that were running in the front pack pitted early. Now they're going to ride around here and just kind of keep the tires on the car, wait for that next yellow, and then everybody ahead of them is going to hit pit road. They're going to find themselves back at the front of the pack. The rest of that field's going to have to come back up and pass them again. So it looks like track position is the key of why they wanted to pit early.
Short pitting will work, and there's what happened on that spin by Bert Marvin.
Eli, he did all that by himself. He just got in the throttle too hard coming off the corner and just turned right around. He was very lucky that nobody was very close to him.
Mike Stefanik, Tim Connolly, 1st and 2nd. You're curious, our other front row starter, Dan Avery, he is backslid to 10th now. Haven't mentioned much about a good run. I was going to mention about number 14 right there, who is being challenged. That's Ken Woolley, who is out of New Jersey, and the Reg just caught him. Reggie Ruggiero, we hadn't talked much about Ken, and he was doing a solid job. But all of a sudden, he is now in peril of being bypassed by Reggie Ruggiero. Up front, Mike Stefanik, still showing the way by that margin over the yellow machine of Connolly. John Blewett is 3rd, and there's an ominous-looking cloud right over top New Hampshire International Speedway.
Both these men have athlete's foot. But only one used Desinex, the soothing cure. Desinex has a dual-action formula that calms the itching and cools the burning. And Desinex is clinically proven to kill the fungus dead, so your feet feel good while they heal. Got athlete's foot? Get dual-action Desinex, the soothing cure.
Troy Aikman is back to pass. He's looking, and ooh, Aikman's down.
He had a man wide open. What was this guy thinking?
Brute, it's all part of the game.
All right, guys, same play.
If it's good enough to go on our hood, imagine what it can do under yours. Big A, America's Parts Pros.
Line 'em up. Turn on the power. Rev up the excitement. Shift into high gear. And take no prisoners. The American Speed Association, celebrating 30 years. It's the AC Delco Challenge Series Pontiac Excitement 300. Live from Hawkeye Down Speedway. Friday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on the leader, TNN Motorsports.
Brought to you by Gladiator and Universal Luxury Vans, the official vans of tracks, teams, and drivers throughout the NASCAR world. Call 1-800-445-2825 for a dealer near you.
Pit stops now, the name of the game at lap number 37. Bert Marvin spinning off turn 2 this time, bringing out the 2nd caution flag of the afternoon. There's the problem that Marvin had, and he will now come on around to the attention of his crew on the pit lane. So now most others who didn't stop earlier are stopping here, including Jan Lady right there in at lap number 37. Matt Yoakum's got a good eye on it.
Well, both Jan Leedy and the 5 car of Charlie Pasternak are in. It's a 4-tire stop for Pasternak and a 4-tire stop for Leedy. And there also appears to be Eddie Flumpke Jr. could be coming down pit road shortly.
Well, evidently the leaders didn't feel like it was late enough.
No, I guess not.
Evidently they felt like they wanted to have a little fresher tire on their car towards the end of the race. And, you know, this is what pit strategy is all about. You know, making the right decisions at the right time.
Jack Bateman there, the 47. He'll be coming in, but the race leader's staying out. Hey, have you heard what the critics are saying about TNN Motorsports' new video game, Hardcore 4x4? They're saying if you're a racer and you like games, you need to check out TNN Motorsports Hardcore 4x4 for the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Saturn system. It is in stores now, so check it out. The game is really very authentic. So real, you'll have to scrape the mud off your TV screen. Check it out, the Hardcore 4x4. You can also get information online at www.country.com. Yeah, it's coming up again, cruise time. The NASCAR Family Cruise, Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary, and a host of drivers and sports personalities. There's the number to call. Brett, you and the family.
We had a great
family and I
time.
there last year. Had a great time.
That was a great cruise. Can't wait to go back.
Key West, Florida this year. Cozumel, Mexico. Brand new itinerary. Check it out. Call that number toll free. 888-491-4950. Monies to benefit the Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary. Ed Flumpke Jr. on the pit lane there, number 11, Matt.
Eli, Ed Flumpke Jr. was complaining his car was a little bit loose, so they came in, took the caution to take advantage of trying to tighten him up a little bit with stagger. An update on his business partner, Reggie Ruggiero. They were going to try to come in if the leaders pitted. They put the signboard out, but the leaders did not come in, so the Reg decided to hold on to the 5th position.
Right now, they're telling the field to double up. Billy Ryder atop the flag stand is giving them the flags right there, not halfway, but he's telling them to double up because there is some rain falling right now. And instead of going single file and keeping one groove dry, they'll double up and try and keep 2 grooves dry. Meanwhile, Glenn Jarrett, I am told in my ear, has found a friend on pit road. Oh, my. Don't they make a lovely couple?
What the deal is, guys, I can't bear to get wet. Hey, they're moving my bear. What are you doing here? Hey, what are you doing here? This is the polar beverage bear, and I'm trying to get this guy to keep me dry, and I'm going to smack Nelson over here for moving him around here. No, it's raining pretty hard right now, guys, so they're telling them to double up on the racetrack to try to help keep the thing dry. But that ominous cloud you talked about, Eli, it's doing its job right now.
Of course, the operative question on that last shot of Glenn Jarrett and his buddy there was, who has the more hot air in him?
I've been talking to him, Eli. That's where he got all the hot air from. It came directly from, I inflated this bear.
Yeah. 40 laps are on the board of the 100. It is raining. They're going to keep the teams out there for a while to see if they can stay ahead of Mother Nature. We're still 10 laps shy of halfway.
Let us lift our eyes toward the challenges that await us in the next century.
They shape what we say and what we feel. They teach and inspire us. They rise to power and fall from grace. They are who we see when we look in the mirror. Our idols. Our demons. And now they've got their own network. CBS Eye on People. Available on cable and satellite.
They call me the Intimidator. When I'm cooking, I'm unbeatable. Give the folks what they came for. Give them their money's worth. I'm friendly. Just don't cut in front of me.
This week on NASCAR Garage. Come with us as we pay a visit to top team owner Robert Yates and see another step in the building of a race car.
This weekend on the leader for motorsports coverage, TNN Motorsports.
On Showtime,
when it comes to playing in the majors.
You like baseball? Oh, I'm not obsessed with it or anything. At least you're not one of them die-hard, baseball fans, really. Why's that? Because those guys are losers. What do you want from me? I want you to hit a home run for me, Bob.
The stakes
And if that pitcher goes easy on you, I'm going to kill your kid.
are for keeps. Wesley Snipes, Robert De Niro, The Fan. This month only on Showtime.
Step up to the plate for big league thrills on Showtime and Cox Cable.
We at the law offices of McEntee & McEntee are committed to fighting for you. If you have been injured in an auto accident or suffered a personal injury, call McEntee & McEntee. Our team of experienced attorneys will go with you every step of the way to help you settle your car accident case or personal injury claim. If you have been injured, call the law offices of McEntee & McEntee at 823-3313, located behind Bald Hill Dodge, just 1/4 mile from the Warwick Mall.
To call. New LCI residential long-distance customers receive 30 minutes of free domestic calling and the World Card Plus calling card featuring participating NASCAR drivers. Don't delay. Call now. 1-888-TEAM-LCI.
Well, sorry to report, but the red flag is out now as the rain intensifies just a bit here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. That'll give you a better idea as you see one of the local federally protected marshlands in the area here. And there is the even rain on the scoreboard. That's what they are showing the fans here. But we are under a rain situation. And, of course, Brett Bodine, this not only impacts these fellas who have still 8 laps to go to halfway and 58 to finish the race, but I know you and the other Winston Cup drivers are hoping for that final practice session here this afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. We've put in our race engine now and want to get out there and get some laps on it, get it worked in, and, of course, make those final adjustments to the chassis.
Doesn't look particularly bad, and actually there's some sun beginning to show through.
That's what I was just fixing to point out. The sun has reappeared on the front straightaway here, even though it is still just drizzling lightly, but looks like we might get this thing back underway pretty quick. The pavement's already hot, so it'll dry fast.
Let's recap it if you're just joining us as the jet dryer has now come out to try and stay ahead of Mother Nature just a bit. Dan Avery, who started outside of the front row, led the first 6 laps here today. Ted Christopher led laps 7 and 8 after winning the Busch North Series event. Then Tim Connolly from laps 9 through 27, and Mike Stefanik took the lead at lap number 28. We're now at lap number 42. You got a good view there of the blue sky off towards Laconia, New Hampshire. That is out behind turn 4 and so on. So not being a betting man, but I would guess we'll be back to racing here before too much longer.
You not being a betting man?
All right, let's. The second I said it, I knew I had
sat at many of blackjack table together in Las Vegas.
We sure, but that's strictly for medicinal purposes.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's take a look at how your favorites are running and see Mike Uinitsko there. John Blewett, we talked about him from Flemington doing so well. Good run there for the number 14, Ken Woolley Jr. doing himself well. Jerry Marquis, Sam Russo. Good run for the number 1 machine. Tim Mangus started in 26th. He's now in 10th.
Ted Christopher, he's slid back a little bit here to 11th. I think they're struggling a little bit with the handling.
Tony Hirschman's had a tough year this year.
After that team won the championship and everything, and just haven't been able to get it together this season. Of course, there hasn't. When you have someone as dominant as Mike Stefanik, it's hard to say that you've had a good year considering he is the benchmark.
Hirschman had a couple of seconds and a 5th. He's had many 20th and 30th place finishes, and that's been the bugaboo for that team this year, Glenn.
Oh, absolutely, Eli. I've been checking with a couple of the guys on pit road about pit strategy. I asked Mike Stefanik's guys if they had planned on stopping, and they said, yeah, if we'd have known this was going to happen, we'd stop now. Same thing from Tim Connolly's crew. Before this thing was red flagged, right when the caution first came out, their guys were scurrying around, getting ready to pit Tim. Then all at once they decided not to come in. So a lot of second guessing going on right now. Some guys that didn't pit wishing that they had. So, we're going to have to wait and see. They're going to need another caution now. they feel like that even if they don't get to pit, if this thing would go green the rest of the way, that they may have enough track position on these other guys to hold them off, but only time will tell.
And we should establish, although it is elementary to some of you watching, there are always new viewers checking in. Remember that under a red flag condition, even though they're on pit road, you might say, well, go ahead and work on them. You can't do that. You can dry the windshield, you can cover the car. That is the extent. Whenever the red flag is out in any NASCAR Touring Series, all work must stop. And that is what we've had here, 4 minutes and 27 seconds of a red flag condition thus far.
Talking about that pit strategy, it looks like Rick Fuller is in the best position right now. He was one of the cars that pitted early. He's all the way back up to 14th. So virtually, you got to consider him the leader of the race after everybody pits.
Right, because Stefanik hasn't yet made a stop. Fuller is 171 points down to Stefanik, but he is second in the points, so very much a part of his strategy. And there's old Reggie Ruggiero, who has come all the way up to 5th spot after starting back in the field. But again, pit stop still having to unfold for many of the top teams. Red flag continues. There's some blue sky, but also some raindrops still falling as well. So we're going to hang right here. Don't you go away. We're coming right back.
Both these men have athlete's foot. But only one used Desinex, the soothing cure. Desinex has a dual-action formula that calms the itching and cools the burning. And Desinex is clinically proven to kill the fungus dead, so your feet feel good while they heal. Got athlete's foot? Get dual-action Desinex, the soothing cure.
When you buy a new Honda 4Trax 300, 300 4x4, or the rugged Foreman 400, you can see something you just won't see on any other ATV. Your choice of 7.9% APR financing and no down payment, or a pair of incredible German precision optic Steiner binoculars. Now you can see why Honda ATVs are the best on earth.
You know you can't use Duraloop fuel treatment in your Indy car. It's an unfair advantage.
I'm not allowed to use this product in my Indy car, but in my road car, I want the Duraloop advantage.
Duraloop is scientifically formulated to clean, condition, and protect your fuel system for a smoother running engine with more power and less harmful emissions. Duraloop fuel treatment, tomorrow's technology today.
Welcome back. The CMT Twin 100s here on TNN Motorsports. Earlier today, Ted Christopher winning for the NASCAR Busch North Series. Right now, the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour event. 42 laps old, being held up by rain. You'll get all the details and all the highlights of the races here and all that's going on across America. Busy weekend in motorsports. You won't miss a thing by tuning into Race Day. Up-to-the-minute highlights, interviews, whole lot more tomorrow at noon Eastern with Rick Benjamin at the microphone. Hope you can tune in for that. And, of course, we'll be along tomorrow as well. We'll check in during race day. And then the NASCAR Winston Cup teams here in New Hampshire, the CMT 300 tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Kenny Schrader on the Busch pole. Same scenario we enjoyed here in July. Schrader was on the pole there. And they tried a few different things in July, Buddy Baker, and Kenny said it just wasn't the way to go. He and Andy Petrie, the team owner and crew chief, have reworked things, and Kenny said we might just have it nailed for tomorrow. You never know, but a lot of enthusiasm and excitement from that team going in.
They're only going to get better, and right now they do have a race to look back on together and say, okay, let's improve this, improve that. The racetrack is basically the same, so I look for them to be real strong.
So that'll all be coming up tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time right here on TNN Motorsports. In the background, the jet dryer still making its lap around the Speedway. Everybody's in the waiting mood. Fans are doing the wave. Sun is out, but it's also raining just a bit. A little sun shower, as they say. Glenn, how bad's it coming down, or is it stopped pretty much?
It's slacking off, Eli, and I was looking at that wave. It looks more like a ripple to me. It's not much of a wave. Brett, you talked about that Rick Fuller was in the driver's seat right now as far as the cars that had pitted. He moved up to 14th. This is the reason that he pitted as early as he did. This is the right rear tire off the car. You can see a little blister has formed right around the outside edge of the tire. I talked to his guys. They said that they saw this, like I told you earlier, they saw this back in August when they were here. Just now, while the car's a red flag, I sneaked out on the pit road, if you can imagine somebody like me sneaking out, undetected by NASCAR, and looked at the right rear tire on Fuller's car. The one on the car right now is fine. He's okay. They feel like their chances are real good. Just like you said, Brett, they may be in the driver's seat because all 13 of those guys in front of him feel like they've got to pit, take on new tires.
Well, that's exactly right, Glenn. But, you know, one other thing that might have played into his favor, he put one more heat cycle on his tire. He got them hot. Now they've sat there and cooled down again. That hardens the rubber up just a little bit. Maybe he won't have that blister problem here in the second half of the race.
Of course, we're still, you never know, but we're still 58 laps from the finish, and he had that little problem develop in 23 laps when he had to come in. So a lot of guessing, and we won't know until the day unfolds. Reggie Ruggiero is in 5th spot, and Matt, you talked to him earlier today by going to the way back. Now you can find him near the front.
He's up to 5th, Eli. You're looking at the right rear off of the Reggie's car. You see a slight blister. Reggie, you made it from 37th all the way to 5th. You put on a heck of a show so far. Can you end it with a victory?
The Gulf Pontiac is real fast today. You know, I've been trying to be careful to get to the front. Now I'm with all the regular tour veterans, and we can put on a good race. We're going to end up pitting here pretty soon, probably on the next caution. So, you know, if we can get into pits and beat these guys out, then I don't have to pass them. And, you know, I wanted to be up front. Took 35 laps, a little longer than I thought, but we're here to stay.
Well, he's got it up front. They're hoping to pit the next caution flag. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And we moved up to the front row where, once again, we find Mike Stefanik. And you made a comment a while ago, I was going to make you famous. I'm not doing it, man. You are. Great run so far. The car looks like it's handling great.
Yeah, the car is really running strong. The Goodyear tires seem to be have an edge on Brand X. I got to say hi to my kids back home. I haven't said that this weekend, so I know they're watching, and everybody back home. Car's running really well. I don't like running around here driving the track, though, while them guys just got their new tires. I don't think that's the hot setup, so we're going to have to figure out what we got to do here pretty quick. Hopefully the sun will dry the track, and we'll go right back to a green flag situation. Probably come in, you know, lap 60 or 70, maybe.
Well, your guys, I asked them a while ago why you didn't come in that time, and they said if they had known that this rain was coming, they probably would have pitted you.
Yeah, 10-4. We would have come in with the rest of them. I mean, you know, anything a little bit past halfway is where we normally look for the window for the tires. Certainly we're going to be there pretty soon, so we might have made a little mistake here while not knowing what the weather's going to do. We're okay. We got a fast car. I'm having fun.
Sorry to say, even if they did make a mistake, I think he's probably got the car to make up for it, Matt.
Well, 2 cars back, Glenn. John Bluth, the 3rd, 2-time track champion in the modifieds at Flemington. John, you're up to 3rd. He's talking to his guys on the radio. I know this will be a good day for you. You guys want to move up to the Truck Series. Hopefully next year this will be a good chance in front of a lot of Winston Cup stars and owners over in the garage area.
Yeah, we're looking to move up. That's why we come out and did some of these tour races. We figured we'd come here, it's live TV, and try to get the car up front.
Well, they're hoping for a good run. They're in 3rd. Right behind them is Mike Ioannitsko. And now let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And a little work going on Tim Conley's car here. Now, not work that NASCAR would prohibit under red flag. Just cleaning the windshield for him, getting ready to refire. And, Tim, we heard some reports early on. We're not sure if it was you or not, but about maybe a power steering problem. Was that anything to do with you? Car looks awfully good.
No, the car's awfully good. No power steering problems here. Actually, no problems at all. 2 sprinkles. They're going to go away. New Hampshire does a great job at their track maintenance, so I don't have any worries about anything. Mike Stefanik's running really good. We got a pretty good car today. We're a little bit tight on this set of tires right now, but everything's going as planned. I'll pay attention to the master up there, and we'll have some fun.
When will you stop the change?
Well, you got to wonder if we made a mistake already or not. It's going to be a real show for us to come up through the back here now. You know, we really wanted to come in around about this time, but we just let a whole bunch of other guys pit instead of us, so not much of an advantage. So I think we'll hold tight for a little bit and then come in a little while. I guess I want to know what Mike said first.
Basically the same thing you said, Tim, that there might have been a little mistake made there. A little bit of second guessing, like I said earlier, guys, a little second guessing going on down here.
It does seem, however, as though we are going to go back racing in about 5 minutes or so. Track drying has continued. We've been under a red flag now for 13 minutes and 50 seconds because of a little rain shower that came across the track. But blue sky overhead, and they're going to dry the track. We'll be back to it with the final 58 laps of the CMT Twin 100s.
Both these men have athlete's foot. But only one used Desinex, the soothing cure. Desinex has a dual-action formula that calms the itching and cools the burning. And Desinex is clinically proven to kill the fungus dead, so your feet feel good while they heal. Got athlete's foot? Get dual-action Desinex, the soothing cure.
Recently, KFC introduced a revolutionary new sandwich.
Able to jump outside and get the lead back away from him. But
for the second.
Stefanik battles back in that outside lane.
Wow, look at him get the forward bite off the corner down the back straightaway and just motor right back into the lead there. Connolly didn't get off that corner at all.
So Stefanik in front, Connolly second. Blewett is that first red car. Uinitsko is the second red car. Working around the number 98, the slower machine of Doug French there on the right of your screen, that black car with the blue numerals.
What happened there, Eli, was some of the guys made a pit stop with 1 to go before the restart, got caught on pit lane, and there's a half a dozen cars that didn't ever get caught up to the back of the pack.
So they're all right now ahead of the leaders by a goodly bit. What about tire situation now, Glenn, again, for Stefanik, for Connolly, and for Blewett?
Well, Eli, the front two guys, Stefanik and Connolly, are on good years. They both told us on camera that they were going to have to change tires. I didn't get to talk to John Blewett, but I talked to his crew chief, and he said, yeah, he said, we're just waiting to see what those guys do. The Hoosier tires are going to have to change at about the same time. Like Matt said, it's going to be monkey see, monkey do. As soon as Stefanik makes his move, you can bet that Connolly and Blewett also will follow him down pit road.
Little skating up in turn number 2 for Jan Lady and others as they stay off the wall, but barely. Ladies running back in 19th spot while you watch the leaders. There's Connolly in second, Blewett third, Uinitsko in fourth. Reggie Ruggiero is that blue car in fifth.
Stefanik got a great jump there. He's got about a 10-car left lead. But these other cars are drafting just like they do at Daytona and Talladega. They ought to be able to run him down if they're handling him as well.
Lap 48, Ed Flemke Jr. making another stop as we ride with Connolly here on the main straightaway. They bypass the 33 of Wade Cole there, that black car, putting him a lap down. Cole is at 32nd. We told you about Jan Lady moments ago up there near in turn 2 in the corner. Watch what happened here. He's in the outside.
Looks like the 00 car, the 40 car got crooked.
Yeah.
Lost the back end, slid around a little bit. Lady had to make an evasive move to the right, got up into marbles. And that stuff gets stuck to your tire and you can't get it off. It takes a couple corners to get it cleaned up.
Patrick DePonte was in the 40 as we've reached halfway.
Well, let me just tell you about the marbles. What they are is tire buildup and a lot of debris that gets on the high side of the racetrack. When you get into it, it feels like somebody had a fresh load of sand on the outside of the track.
We told you a repeated pit stop for Ed Flemke Jr. He was in at lap 44, again at lap 48. What's the problem, Matt?
Eli thought he might have had some lugs loose on the right front. He had a bad vibration, so they brought it back in again, took the impact gun, went around to all the lugs. They were all tight, so now they're still wondering what could be the culprit for the vibration on the 11 car. Glenn?
Well, Matt, to talk about what Buddy and Brett were talking about there, that tire buildup, this is exactly what happens. This is the right front tire that came off of Rick Fuller's car when he pitted. You can see all the rubber that it picked up there when he slowed down to come down pit road. It's not only ugly looking, it doesn't turn very well either.
I bet not. 48 laps now remaining as Stefanik goes across the stripe and head back off into the corner. Ed Kennedy giving us the ride around the Speedway in the 0. He's in 11th spot, Kennedy is.
Boninsko just took third away from Blewett going down into turn 3. Looks like he's found a little speed in the number 8 car.
He's a good one, Uinitsko is, particularly out of his favorite track out at Riverhead on Long Island. Boy, he's tough there.
Eli, that car has been good with a lot of drivers in it. Jeff Fuller drove it a few years back, won championship in it. Steve Park drove it, was always a threat. That car has a great background.
Stefanik going around the 39 of Jerry Marquis.
Uinitsko's now got in the second. He's gotten around Tim Conley.
So Mike Uinitsko on the move. We're at lap number 54. The NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour working towards the finish.
Once every millennium, something happens so...
From Mike Stefanik. There you see Conley, Stefanik right behind him. Uinitsko, the red car to the inside, the left of your screen. Stefanik led from 28 to 56. Uinitsko at lap 57. Conley at lap number 58.
Boys are really mixing it up here at the front of the pack.
But pit stop's still coming. Remember that.
That's exactly right. And Rick Fuller, he's laying back, just taking care of his tires. He's in 7th position right now, and I know what he's doing. He's just pacing himself.
He's just waiting.
Look at Stefanik on the inside. You can see he's really having a time keeping that car down low. The back end was switching back and forth there as it goes and tries to take the lead now. You can see 3 cars really battling for the lead here.
And here comes the 44, Reggie Ruggiero. He's in 4th. Ahead of John Blewett, who is in 5th. Woolley is in 6th. Fuller now 7th. Avery is 8th. Russo 9th. Ted Christopher is 10th. Ed Kennedy is 11th. Chris Kopech in 12th. Charlie Pastriak 13th. Tommy Gravino is 14th. Tony Hirschman is 15th. Jan Leedy now in 16th.
Stefanik doesn't want to give that inside up, does he?
Not at all.
He's protecting it pretty hard, and Conley just drove around the outside of him.
Stands on it. And finally keeps it cleanly for the moment. Here comes Uinitsko in the 8th. Lap 62 of 100.
Conley's car keeps washing up there in the middle of the corner, leaving the bottom lane open, but nobody can drive in there.
What a great shot. That's looking back from Conley's car. You see Stefanik just behind there, and everybody is drafting. You can see when one car moves, they all start, just like a Congo line going down the front straightaway there.
Just 37 laps from the finish. Glenn Jarrett, any chance at all that some of these guys are going to try and go with 37 laps remaining?
Yeah, Eli, I've talked to Uinitsko's crowd, to Conley and to Mike Stefanik, and they're not going to stop under the green unless they absolutely have to, unless a tire goes down. They're going to try to stay out there. I'm watching Rick Fuller. He's not making any progress right now. He's pretty much holding his on, but he's not running them down with the fresher tires. So they're going to stay out there. If a caution comes out, they may or may not pit. But remember this, whatever Mike Stefanik decides to do, that's what all the rest of them will have to do.
And right now, Stefanik is battling with Conley for the lead. Those of you who are tuning in now to see my classic car, the show will not be seen this afternoon due to the late of this event. We had that rain delay that put us about 20 minutes behind schedule, so we apologize. Those of you who are tuning in for my classic car, it will not be seen, but these classic cars are going to continue to be seen, and my classic car will be on at 6:30 Eastern time this evening, about 3 hours from now.
Here's a look back at Mike Stefanik literally pushing Tim Conley down the straightaway.
Here they come off turn 4, back to the stripe. Battle for the lead, Stefanik and Conley.
Stefanik makes the move on the inside, but I was really hoping that Conley knew he was down there.
So Stefanik reassumes the lead 10 laps after he lost it. We're at lap number 66. Could there be pit stops, or are they going to try and drag out to the finish? We'll find out when we come back.
Dallas, Monday, TNN. ExperienceCountry.com, your personal source for all things country, from race cars to country stars. ConnectTheCountry.com.
This week, Oscar De La Hoya, Hector Macho Camacho. Youth or experience, power or skill, focus or fire. Two champions, one belt. Opposites attack. De La Hoya versus Camacho. Presented by Caesar's Palace. Live on pay-per-view.
Saturday, September 13th. Bring home the hits. Here on pay-per-view and Cox Cable.
Did you know that the average transmission has 13 different seals that can leak? And that these trouble spots can carry a small price tag or a big one? But don't panic. AMCO centers have expert technicians with state-of-the-art diagnostic tools. Half the cars serviced by AMCO centers don't need a new transmission. AMCO, AA, MCO.
AMCO Transmission, conveniently located 5 minutes from downtown Providence at 85 Cypress Street, Warwick, next to Alpine Ski. Towing available, call 781-1700.
We have caution on the Speedway for a spin in turn number 4, and that is the second car involved. That's Mike Christopher. He was the second car. The first car is now right there pulling away, the 07 of Burt Marvin. He has the left front that's down, as you can, and we have caution on the Speedway, just 30 laps from the finish.
Boy, this is going to be interesting, Eli. Are these guys leading the race going to take a chance and pit, or are they going to go ahead and just say, hey, we don't want to give up the track position. We need to stay out on the racetrack.
That is the question right now, and Burt Marvin has a complete hat trick now. That's the third time that he's been in trouble today.
Some of the teams on the pit lane, the 51, Bill Woods, that's the black machine that you see in the foreground, and there's Burt Marvin behind him in the 07. We are at lap number 71. The Burnham Boilers team waiting for Mike Stefanik, and of course they could be just bluffing here. We're at lap 70. Glenn, what are you hearing?
Well, out there bluffing. They got everybody down here fooled because they're all they've done a great job of it. Got me fooled too. I think they're all going to come in, and interestingly enough, Rick Fuller is also going to have to pit. As we talked about a while ago, that advantage that he had, that new tire advantage, is gone now. Too many laps on the tires. They're coming down pit road right now. Mike Stefanik leading a parade down pit road. I think the guy in the catbird seat right now might be Jan Leedy. Did he not pit earlier? Here they come. Stefanik followed closely by Conley, Uanitzko, and we're right here. This will be, they go to the right side on Mike Stefanik. Looks like it will be right side only. Same thing for Rick Fuller. In fact, Rick Fuller is only going to change the right rear. You're going to see two right sides on Tim Conley. Likewise, now they come around to the left side on Stefanik. So it will be three, and let's go to Matt.
The golf crew, 4 tires for Reggie Ruggiero. He was complaining his car had gotten loose over that run, so they tightened him up. Let's go back to Glenn Jarrett.
And Rick Fuller beats him out because he only changed the right rear. Mike Stefanik second, and Reggie Ruggiero comes out third. A little bit of trouble for Conley. In fact, a lot of trouble for Conley. He stalls a little bit getting away, but Tim Conley will go out in 4th position. Mike Uanitzko, the guy having the most problems here, he came in 3rd. He is now back to 6th. 7th. The left side of the car is still up, so they've got a bad problem on the left side there. Oh, he is dropping way back in the back. Car is just now down and away for Uanitzko. Terrible pit stop.
Too bad for Mike Uanitzko, who is leading this event at lap 57. That's also something we're having to take into account here. Heavy cloud now moving in right over top the New Hampshire International Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. In that kind of a day, there's the Christopher machine, Mike Christopher, who is being pulled up onto the flatbed. He literally ran over one of the corners of the Burt Marvin car after it was sitting off in turn number 4. Marvin has since driven away, as we showed you earlier. So we're at lap number 72 of 100. Tires are fresh. We'll set who's where when we come back to the Magic Mile.
There's no track in the world that's tougher on brakes than the one in Martinsville, Virginia. And when drivers take the green flag here, they all have one thing in common, the same brand of brakes. Because without them, you can't come down this straightaway at 120 miles an hour and still make it through the turn. So which brand do the top drivers use to get them through 500 laps at Martinsville? Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. And we stock them at AutoZone.
He doesn't really talk about his hair, but I know he thinks about it. That's why he uses Pantene Pro V. The Pro Vitamin formula penetrates, improving hair, keeping it looking really healthy, shiny, strong. Pantene Pro V, for hair so healthy it shines.
I'm a pretty big guy. Hey, all right, a really big guy. So do you think this store is going to have those great-looking clothes in my size? No way. So I shop at home with the king-size catalog. It's just for big and tall guys. Lots of good-looking clothes, good prices, and convenient. Just pick up the phone and call. Need jackets or jeans that really fit? King Size has a great selection of styles and colors. How about clothes for work? They're all in here. Are your shirts always too short, waist too tight? The King Size catalog always has the perfect fit. It's got everything we big guys need. Give it a shot.
If you're a big or tall guy, write down that number. Give us a call for your free catalog. Every item is guaranteed for quality and fit. King Size, the perfect fit.
So now, everybody in America knows my size.
All the rowdy boys are coming over tonight.
Leanne Rhymes hosts country's biggest, hottest, loudest event.
Let's do it.
Country Fest 97, September 22nd at 9 Eastern on TNN.
We are back, and so is Ted Christopher, who won the Busch North Series portion of the CMT Twin 100s earlier. There you see the other part of the Christopher family now being towed away, Mike Christopher. Here's the scenario. Ted Christopher is a leader. Chris Kopech now in second. Ed Kennedy is running in third. There he is. Now, those three plus 10 others who pitted either at lap 23 or lap 37 have stayed on the racetrack. The first driver to pit here in this sequence and come out, Rick Fuller, he is now in 14th position. Glenn Jarrett, a lot of strategy playing out.
Oh, absolutely. And Ted Christopher may be in the catbird seat, Jan Leedy, whatever, but this is the right rear tire off of Mike Stefanik, who was leading when that caution came out. You can see a blister just like the one we saw on Rick Fuller. There's still plenty of rubber on the tire. You can see the tread wear bars there. There's plenty of rubber on the tire. It was just blistering. Saw a similar problem on Tim Connolly, but his was on the left front. Let's go to Matt.
Well, Glenn, looking at the Hoosier tires that have come off the Golf 44 car of Reggie Ruggiero, a slight blister on the right rear you can see here on the outside of the tire. But this could be playing right into the Reg's hands because they knew if they pitted, they wanted to pit with Mike Stefanik because they were going to take his toe to the front, and that's where they've lined up for some good pit stop from the golf crew.
Yeah, but Stefanik's 15th, Reggie is 16th. It's a big old toe from there in 25 laps. There's you see how everybody came out, where they were. And remember, the first 13 did not make a stop here. That's why a guy who had a good pit stop will still go from first to 15th. He really lost only a couple of spots in the exchange.
Well, we're down to a Saturday night slug out now. 25 laps to go, and I tell you what, it's going to be tough to come to the front. But if anybody can, boy, I tell you, Stefanik's the guy to look for.
The 13 is the race leader, Billy Ryder with the green. And here we go. The number 39, that black car just ahead of the leader, Jerry Marquis, not on the lead lap. He is actually on the tail end of the lead lap, so to be officially is in 26th spot. But the 13 is your race leader, Ted Christopher. Now there you are, middle of the field. Those are the fellows who pitted. There's Stefanik. On the left of the screen, Reggie Ruggiero in the 44. They're going outside of many, around Fuller already, the 21, who was one of the pit men, the guys who pitted most recently. Up front, Chris Kopech now in the 16. He's in second. Ed Kennedy in the 0. He's in third. Charlie Pasteryak in that metallic blue number 5. He's fourth. Oh, and around goes the 82 of Danny Watts Jr. Caution is on the Speedway. Caution is on the Speedway. Turn 2. A good break for Jerry Marquis. He stays on the lead lap, and he'll come all the way around from his 27th spot and assume a position behind everybody else. But caution is out now for the 4th time. It comes out at lap 78, 22 laps to go.
Well, we did see the guys that pitted making a big move up through the pack, but I think it's just going to take a couple laps for them to get their tires running, and they're going to be ready to go on this restart here.
Here's what happened. Let's take a look at it. Watching the 82 car.
Oh, a little contact there with Rick Fuller in the 21, the green and white car. As you can see, they just made light contact. He did not want to get into Fuller, so he pinched the car down, bringing the back end around.
We also told you about Jerry Marquis. There he is, making up the lap that he was down. Glenn, how does this caution now figure into everybody's strategy?
Well, it kills the strategy. Doesn't kill it, but it certainly does great harm to the strategy of those guys that pitted a while ago. They need green flag laps to be running right now. We only had a couple of laps under caution, but that's 2 laps less that they can use that new rubber to gain position on the racetrack. Can't change right now under caution. So these guys that got the new rubber, they're not able to use it right now. Plus, as we talked about a while ago, the guys up front that did not change, one more chance for them to cool those old tires.
There you see the machines as they work behind the pace car. See those rear spoilers? They're all plexiglass. You can see through those, and there's a good shot from Connolly's car looking back, and there obviously is a reason for that, Brett.
Well, yeah, the driver sits so low, buddy, as you commented earlier, sits so low in the car. To look out the rearview mirror, if that was a piece of aluminum, you wouldn't see the competition behind you. So NASCAR made them be Lexan, so the driver in the car can see, and the driver from behind can see through that spoiler, the traffic up ahead.
There is a reason for everything on these race cars. Here we go. 20 laps to go. Ted Christopher shows the way. Chris Kopech in the 16. The black and bronze 0 is Kennedy. Ed's going to hang on a second. We're riding with him now.
You can see him coming off turn 2 there. The back of the car is getting very light as they head down into turn 3. That's just an idea of how fast these cars are running down the straightaway. You can tell they're picking them up and putting it down that back straightaway.
Ed Kennedy now with the lead as he comes off the corner. Ed Christopher waiting and watching.
Tony Hirschman jumping up on the outside of Charlie Pastriak.
19 laps to go. Kennedy's been in this series since 1988. Still has never picked up a victory in his Featherlite Modified Tour career.
Mike Stefanik is all over that lead pack right now.
That's him to the inside. That's him to the outside. That's him in the middle.
What a race. These guys are really bad. Oh, contact between Stefanik and the third car.
These machines always put on some of the best shows here. Look at the 3 going by there, and Tony Hirschman's got something wrong with the roof there.
Well, the post there that holds the front of the is missing. It's gone.
The right front A-pillar has actually come loose and has been up over the roof of the car. And hopefully that thing's fastened down well enough that it's going to stay on.
He's in second spot, Hirschman is, behind Kennedy.
I can tell you it looks pretty good from here. He's running very well. Look back in the pack here. What a gnarl.
There's Reggie Ruggiero in the 44. He's now in 8th position. Connolly, we're riding with him now. He's in 13th.
He's got trapped on the outside lane behind some slower cars, and he just cannot make any ground through his pack.
Trying to work around Kennedy, who continues as the race leader, is Hirschman. Hirschman has won here 3 times, all in 1996.
Hirschman, for some reason, has learned to draft very, very well, and you can see right now he's given no quarters to anyone, running very well, even though you can see the top of that hood starting to move just a little bit.
Mike Stefanik's got himself all the way up to 4th now, and he is really making the moves on the outside.
And this is for the lead as Hirschman tries to challenge Kennedy. Turn 2. Got him. Back straightaway. Hirschman, who has had such an unusual year. He's had a series of top 10s, but hasn't won this year. Let's see what happens. It's not over.
That was Stefanik that stuck the nose of his car up there, made it 3 wide, heading down into turn 3. This thing's really getting with it now. Stefanik is there.
14 laps to go and problems. Problems now. Tony Ferrari in the 31. The 98 is Doug French. That is up in the corner.
Jan Leedy spun and is in the wall also.
He has spun in turn number 1. There's Jan. He was running in 10th spot. So caution on the Speedway. Lap number 86 for the 5th time. Jan Leedy spinning in turn 1. Part of a tire that has come loose. And there you see the 31. Still sitting, Tony Ferrari. Franklin Square, New York driver. And the 98 of Doug French.
Ooh, look at the damage to the ladies' car there. You can see the whole back of the car torn up. You can see the tire missing off the wheel. That's it right there.
And there is that tire that came off the 25 of Jan Leedy. As far as Doug French and Ferrari, Ferrari was running back around 28th position at the time of the accident. 30th is where French was showing. And there they assess the situation. Here's what happened on the first spin. Ferrari there, he touched wheels with the 14 of Woolley.
Got turned around backwards and backed up the racetrack. French just had nowhere to go. He locked it up and slid into the side of Tony.
Another angle here. Nowhere to go.
No. Tony let the car drift up the racetrack, thinking that that would probably be the best thing to do, is get it up out of the groove.
So a tough break for French, who is still coming out of the race car. You see Ferrari already standing there, being talked to by the safety officials. What about Jan Leedy's deal there, Glenn?
Well, Eli, when I looked up, he was backwards into the wall. If you can look through my camera, you can see the skid marks about where the red line on the wall starts, all the way into the corner. Then you can see where he impacted it at the next red line. He stayed against the wall. I don't know what was wrong. I don't know if he got tangled up with some cars back there coming off of 4, but when he got to 1, he knew he had a problem. He had it locked down trying to stop it, but it turned around, got into the wall, stripped one of the tires off the car. He hit pretty good. I think Jan's okay, but the car is not.
Yeah, we saw Jan climb from the race car before. That's one thing about this business. You can be running in the top 10 and all of a sudden, even not a problem of your own doing, and you find yourself out of the event. Doug French shaken up there, shaken up just a bit. Shaken up is what we say in Alabama, but for the benefit of the rest of America, that would be shaken up.
That works on Lake Norman, too.
88 laps on the board, just a dozen to go.
This is going to be pretty exciting stuff coming down to the finish.
I'll tell you, Tony Hirschman, always a power, but this year it has just not been a spectacular year. He got out of the box with a great second place run at Thompson. Then he finished 21st, 25th, 33rd. He had a second at Stafford, a 7th here, but then he went back to 17th at Riverhead and 21st at the Glen and a 10th at Holland and another 11th at Riverhead. Then a couple of good finishes at New Hampshire again in the Glen. And then Stafford, he was 21st when the day was done. He needs a victory. Maybe today's the day.
Look at Stefanik making a move on the outside there to take the 3rd spot away from back.
From Pasteryak, right, if he can get by him.
Almost made it.
Boy, he's really working well in that outside lane. Those new tires are really showing up here in the late stages.
Yeah, he's going to be hard to hold back. You can see Stefanik on the outside. He does not have a line that he prefers right now. He'll try the outside here to take over second.
Around Ed Kennedy, the Texas driver. Ruggiero in the 44. He's in 4th. Kennedy says,
Reggie, what a move.
Look at the wrench to the inside. Stefanik got hung up. Reggie saw an opening.
Went from 4th to 2nd, going into the 3rd turn, and he's on the inside of the lead.
Wow.
6 laps to go now.
Here we go. Reggie's on the inside.
Reggie Ruggiero. Oh, and Patty into Hirschman. Around goes Rick Fuller. He's into the wall. Everybody else on the binders. And caution is on the Speedway. Fuller was running in 6th.
Eli, you could almost feel that coming. They were really, really trying so hard there. It was a matter of inches, and when one backed off, the other one checked up a little bit. There was contact, and that's what happened there.
Caution for the 6th time. The Reg is leading the event at lap number 95.
All the way from his 37 starting position to the front. It took him only 95 laps to get there, but he made it.
And that smoke you see, some is coming from Rick Fuller's ears right now, I bet you. He's disappointed. Watch it again. Kennedy in the 0.
He got in the back of Hirschman. Got Hirschman, turned around backwards. And back in the pack, it was a chain reaction. The 21 car obviously checked up when he saw the trouble, and someone got in the back of him. Here you go. The 21 car is there on the inside.
Okay,
right
you see the 0, the black and gold car there. Get into Hirschman and turn him sideways. This is the trigger for everything that happened, right?
Charlie Pastrak's the one that got into the back of the 21 car and turned him around, sent him into the outside wall. But, you know, everybody's trying to slow up and avoid the wreck, and it's hard to not have contact in that situation.
Now we'll see how Ed Kennedy saw it. Just like we saw it. So Reggie Ruggiero started 37th. And the first time today that he has led comes out at lap number 95. Of course, Reggie is the man here. There's Rick Fuller.
How wide do you think Reggie is going to be here the last 3 or 4 laps? He'll look like a tractor and trailer to the guys trying to get by him.
Cleanup is going to take a bit. Yeah, you guys are leading. And I bet it's going to give you a cardiac. We'll come right back. Reggie Ruggiero in the 44. 16th race that he has led at this racetrack. Ed Kennedy in 2nd. That's Stefanik in the 6th, running 3rd. Charlie Pasteryak is 4th. Chris Kopech is 5th. White flag in the air. One more time around. Kennedy trying to protect 2nd spot against Stefanik.
Some serious blocking going on there.
Kennedy's never won on the tour.
Whoa, you can see Stefanik get very loose there in turn 2. He drops back a little bit.
Yeah, he lost a lot of momentum. He's in jeopardy of losing 3rd place.
Charlie Pasteryak in the 5. Up front, there's Reggie Ruggiero. Through turn 4, he's going to keep Kennedy at bay. The Reg comes from 37th to win. Kennedy is 2nd. Stefanik comes home in 3rd spot with Dan Avery just nudging Pasteryak at the stripe for 4th and 5th. We'll talk more about it, but Brett Bodine, I know you've got to get down.